We're human. We don't always agree on the same things. We can often have a differing opinion to somebody else. We can often recognise somebody who has an intense belief on something and perhaps doesn't have all the background knowledge, so doesn't particularly know what they're talking about, and somebody who does have an intense belief on something and has the background knowledge to actually back it up. When it comes to disagreements and debates, this isn't particularly for one person to win, it's for people to come to a mutual understanding. However, when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, you'll often notice that for the narcissist, they're in it to win it, and to win it at all costs to you, and they use quite a few different manipulative arguing techniques so that you're the one that ends up questioning who you are as a person, your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs, your reality, and not what they've done to you. There's various ways that narcissistic people like to argue, and this video is going to explore a few of those so that we can recognise this behaviour and no longer play into their hands. One of the first ways a narcissistic person likes to argue is by using those personal attacks towards you, belittling you, demeaning you, accusing you, going all out to criticise you, to mock you in some way. A narcissist is often going to accuse you of attacking a certain person or attacking a certain group of people so they can gain flying monkeys and enablers to their side so that they can remain in control of the situation. They're going to go all out to shift the focus onto your intentions, onto your morals. And this is crucial for a narcissist to remain in control of the situation. However, it is as equally crucial for you to remain composed and not take their personal attacks personally. They will go all out to accuse you of having motives that you simply do not have, which naturally gets you to defend yourself to them, and then they use these defences against you to attack you and to pull you down all the more. Shifting the blame is another way a narcissistic person likes to argue. Instead of taking responsibility for their behaviour and their actions and acknowledging their mistakes, they go all out to redirect these onto somebody else, be it a third person or be it onto you. A narcissistic person is going to go all out to find a way to shift the blame. If you hadn't, then I wouldn't. It's not my fault that so and so. Also, that they can avoid taking responsibility, and when they continue to avoid taking responsibility, they don't learn from their mistakes. They just continue learning how to get away with their mistakes. Gaslighting, where they're going to go all out to manipulate the truth, to distort facts, to distort reality, to rewrite history, to work in their favour, to suit their agenda. With their gaslighting, they're going to go all out to get you to question your perceptions, question your memory, so that they can continue their hurtful, toxic behaviour. They want to get you to question your credibility. When it comes to dealing with a gaslighter, we have to learn to recognise the gaslighting techniques and find the right support for us not to get drawn into that, be it keeping a written diary so that we can refer to that, so that we know what actually happened, or seeking the support of people who understand what we're going through. Word salad is another way a narcissistic person likes to argue, where they're going to just keep shifting the topic of conversation away from the original topic, but on to lots of different topics. So they might come home and, as far as you're aware, you've got an evening planned together. You might simply just bring something up like somebody's special event in a week's time. Hey, it's so-and-so's event. We haven't let them know if we're going. Have you decided yet? And they're going to come at you with things like, do we have to talk about this now? Oh, do you know what kind of day I've had? well, I was about to go and do this. I can't believe you really want to argue about this. And they're just going to keep going from topic to topic to topic, so that you stand there sort of bewildered, thinking, well, the original question hasn't actually been answered. Or they argue by answering your question with a question. Do we have to talk about this now? So again, you find yourself on the defensive. The word salad is done to confuse you. Don't let them take you off topic. Keep bringing it back to the original point. Emotional manipulation is another way they argue. They're going to go all out to guilt trip you. They're going to go all out to shame you. They're going to go all out to attack your vulnerabilities. They're going to go all out to emotionally manipulate you into living life on their terms. They're going to go all out to emotionally blackmail you. We have to, again, recognize the game they are playing, why they are playing it, and no longer fall victim to their emotional manipulation of us. It's not easy, it is worth it. Triangulation is another way a narcissistic person will argue, where they will bring a third person into the topic of conversation. Well, everybody else thinks, well, so-and-so agrees with me. Well, so-and-so doesn't like you. They're going to bring a third person into the topic of conversation to find a way to discredit you. Well, so-and-so said. So a narcissistic person, you might be very well educated in maths. A narcissistic person might know very little about maths, but their arrogance can't handle this. So when you try to explain something to them, they're going to come and claim that so-and-so, who also has very little education in maths, knows better than you and agrees with the narcissist. They'll take on board someone else's opinion, someone else's point of view, than that of their own friends and family. And you, as a genuine person, even though you might be educated and you might know the answer, because you're a genuine person, you can think, I'm sure that's right. I know that's right. But then you have to find a way to check that you're in the right due to the narcissist triangulation and gaslighting. Mocking with noises is another way that narcissistic people like to argue. So they'll just tut at something you say to make you feel bad, or they'll just walk off humming and singing away to themselves once they've said their piece, in order to frustrate you to the point where you might get angry and go chasing after them, and then they can turn around and say, see, this is why we can never discuss anything with you. Another way a narcissistic person likes to argue is by simply stating, I don't want to argue with you, to try and shut the conversation down before it even begins. They can also go all out through things like mocking with noises to provoke a negative reaction from you, so that they can stand back and just stand there and say, what's your problem? What's wrong with you? Have you had a bad day? Where they've projected their feelings onto you, and then they can start accusing you of being the crazy one. And the last way a narcissistic person will argue is by falling silent on you, by shutting the conversation down so that you can't communicate with them, because they're very unwilling to communicate with you unless that communication is going their way. Any methods you noticed a narcissistic person likes to argue, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have a couple of books out on Amazon: a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and 15 rules to deal with narcissistic people. If you cannot go no contact, I shall link those into the description also if you'd like to check those out. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.